One of the strengths of the Agenda 2030 is the cross-cutting engagement of multiple actors: United Nations member states, intergovernmental agencies, non-governmental organizations, and the private sector, all together for achieving the transformation promised in the agenda. In this context, two aspects make the private sector well positioned to bring new solutions to fostering sustainable development and also benefit from the achievement of the goals. First, its on-the-ground networks and its ability to rapidly adapt and innovate. Second, chances to open up new market opportunities and attract new private investments in sustainable development by leveraging companies' core competencies, expertise and resources. A research of the Business and Sustainable Development Commission, an initiative launched in 2016 for inspiring and mobilizing business leaders to align their companies with the SDGs, shows how pursuing the SDGs could raise up to $12 trillion in new market opportunities in ways that extend prosperity to all. These two aspects make the private sector not only aware of the SDGs, but part of the sustainable development. Many leading companies are already using the SDGs to help them develop new inclusive and sustainable opportunities, and to move from a social corporate responsibility paradigm to the business concept of creating shared value. In this context, they can have the opportunity to play a catalytic role in spreading sustainable behaviors and lobbying for overcoming barriers such as regulatory environments, lack of information, and lack of systematic public-private sector collaboration, which are currently preventing more businesses from responding to the global goals. Let's see 5 out of the 70 SDGs where the private sector can largely commit to improve our world. Goal 4. Ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Improvements in the global educational level are considered in terms of access, ensuring that all girls and boys complete free, equitable, and quality primary and secondary education. Quality in order to increase relevant skills through appropriate facilities and qualified teachers. Gender parity, reaching equal access to all levels of education and vocational training. Advocacy to sustainable development through education regarding sustainability issues and sustainable lifestyles. The last point highlights the role of the private sector in educating both the customers and the workers in adopting sustainable practices and lifestyles. Goal 7. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. This goal addresses the energy challenges in both the developing and the developed world. In developing countries, about 1 billion people still live without access to electricity, with half of them living in sub-Saharan Africa. And more than 3 billion people are still relying on biomass and unclean fuels for cooking. By 2030, the goal aims at ensuring access to electricity and clean fuel and cooking technologies to all the global population. At the same time, given the evident relation between energy use and impact on climate, the Goal 7 aims at fostering the penetration of renewable energy sources in the global mix, double the global rate of improvement in energy efficiency, and facilitate access to cleaner fossil fuel technologies. Goal 11. Make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. It aims at addressing the enormous challenges brought by the rapid urbanization and the global population growth, such as the increasing number of slum dwellers, increased air pollution, inadequate basic service and infrastructure, and unplanned urban sprawl. Actions for guaranteeing sustainable cities and communities are designed to assure access to adequate housing, transport systems, services for the most vulnerable people, especially in developing countries, where almost 30% of the population live in slums. Participation in the urban planning. Support for preserving the natural and cultural heritage. Prevention and resilience to natural disaster and mitigation of climate change. Goal 12. Ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. This is a clear warning and global call to the current unsustainable consumption behaviors of the greatest part of the developed and emerging world that are leading to a rapid depletion of natural resources and impact on climate change. This goal aims at decoupling economic growth from the use of natural resources by reducing the material footprint of goods and services we consume, avoiding each type of wastes, from food to hazardous components, and supporting recycling and reusing behaviors, promoting sustainable public procurement practices, fostering education and awareness, reducing the subsidies to fossil fuels. Goal 13. Take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. This is the most urgent goal to achieve in the global agenda, since the global warming and the concentration of atmospheric carbon dioxide are continuing to set dramatic records every year. The goal supports urgent actions to strengthen resilience and adaptive capacity to the climate change-related hazards, to integrate climate change measures into national policies, strategies and planning, to improve education, awareness raising, and human and institutional capacity on climate change mitigations, adaptation, impact reduction, and early warning, to support developing countries in implementing effective climate change-related planning and management actions. We have seen some of the most important SDGs of the agenda, in which the private sector can largely contribute to the transition to a more sustainable future for our global society. From educating and advocating to sustainable development, to direct commitments in more sustainable practices in energy use and production, manufacturing and service provision. In the next lesson, we will focus on energy not only as a mean to achieve the Goal 7 and sustainable development, but as a competitive value for the private sector committed in achieving cleaner energy practice and guiding the energy transition.